everyone, and welcome to this week's Lee's Pub Quiz with myself. Hope you are all doing okay. Hope you're enjoying the weather we're having. Had a nice weekend, nice week as well. First of all, I just want to apologise for not doing one on Wednesday last week. I was a bit busy myself, so I didn't really get a chance to put a quiz together, so that is why I did not do one last week on Wednesday. Possibly might not be doing one on Wednesdays anymore. I'm going to decide how I go, but I will still sticking to doing the one on a Monday, which will be the obviously general knowledge. If you can leave a comment, let me know that you're joined in with me this week. Obviously, for people that are following me every week, thank you for joining again. If you're a regular, it's nice of you to keep supporting me. This week's general knowledge, I've changed the subjects completely this week, so I won't be doing a TV and film or a normal general knowledge round. This week's rounds are going to consist of geography, history, sports, politics, and a food and drink round. So I've mixed it up a little bit this week. Still 10 questions, a bit different from back to normal, sorry. Like last week was Monday's one was a bit different. So we're back to doing the categories this week. So yeah, I hope you're all ready for this week's quiz and you're ready to enjoy it. Learn some new bits and pieces that if you don't know already, which is good. Hope you've all enjoyed the weather today. If you've been at home or out and about, it's been nice. Should be getting warm again should be warm the rest of this week, hopefully, as far as I'm aware. So myself, I'm keeping busy, finding projects to do. Possibly could be going back to work in the next week or so. Just waiting to hear back to see what happens. If I am, I will still be doing the general knowledge quiz on a Monday at 7 o'clock. And we'll see how it goes when I do go back. How the process goes. If I get too tired, I might not do it, but I will still be doing the general knowledge quiz at some point during the week, if not on a Monday. Hope you all got your drinks and snacks as usual. As normal, we'll go through the first 3 rounds, which will be geography, history, and sports. Then I'll go through the answers. We'll see where we go. Might have a little break after round 3, and then round 4 and 5 is politics and food and drink. 10 questions. As normal, 30 seconds between each question. Yeah, we'll just give it. Where should we give it? Let's have a look. What we're on. We'll give another minute before we start. Give people a chance to clock in or join us, if you will. So yeah, so I hope you are ready for this week's quiz. As I said, if you could leave me a comment, let me know you're enjoying it. That'd be great if you can. If not, don't worry. You can give me a thumbs up. We'll go from there. Have you all got your drinks ready? I know I have. Again, I've got myself a new shirt, as you can see, so perfect for my funky shirt quizzes that I do. So I do like to put on a snazzy shirt if I can. Just brightens the day up. Bit of fun. Maybe next week we could have like a dress up quiz. Maybe I might not be able to see you, but if you can, we'll see how I fancy. I will put it up when I make my quiz go live next week, whether we do a shirt quiz, we might call it. I think we'll see how we go. Just for a laugh. Right, I think we will begin. So for your first round, you will have to excuse me because I've got the questions up on my screen now. But unfortunately, I still haven't figured out how to show you with the live chat. So yeah, so round one, we're going to do geography questions. So question one is, can you tell me the capital of Chile? Tell me the capital of Chile. What I might do is try and put a bit of music in the background lightly. Just so it kills the quietness really as well. So round two, question two, sorry, is what is the highest mountain in Britain? So can you tell me what the highest mountain in Britain is?
From the founder of fine grooming, King C. Gillette, introducing a new
Question three is what is the smallest country in the world? So what is the smallest country in the world? I hope you guys can just hear the bit of tunes that I've put in the background. If you can't, then I might make it a bit louder. It's just lightly in the background there. Question four. Alberta is a province of which country? So Alberta is the province of which country? Question five. How many countries still have the shilling as currency? Might have previously asked some of these questions in previous quizzes. So it's just like a little test to see if you remember any information that I've given you. So question five was how many countries still have the shilling as currency? Question six, which is the only vowel not used as the first letter in a US state? So that's which is the only vowel not used as the first letter in a US state? Question seven, what is the largest country in the world? Can you tell me what the largest country in the world is? Question 8, nice and easy. Where would you find the River Thames? So where would you find the River Thames? Question 9, what is the hottest continent on Earth? So what is the hottest continent on Earth? I've been asked to repeat 5 and 6 again. So question 5 was how many countries still have the shilling as currency, was number 5. And number 6 was which is the only vowel not used as the first letter in a US state, was question 6. I'll repeat all the questions again after each round, I think. Question 10 was what is the longest river in the world? So what is the longest river in the world? So after each round now, I've given you 10 questions. I will repeat them quickly before we move on to the next round, which will be history. So if there is any questions that anyone's missed, then you will catch them as I repeat them. So I will repeat the questions for round 1, which was geography, before we move on. So question 1 was what is the capital of Chile? Question 2 was what is the highest mountain in Britain? Question 3 was what is the smallest country in the world? Number 4 was Alberta is a province in which country? Number 5 was how many countries still have the shilling as currency? Number 6 was which is the only vowel not used as the first letter in a US state? Number 7, the largest country in the world. Number 8 was where would you find the River Thames? Number 9 is what is the hottest continent on Earth? And number 10 was what is the longest river in the world? So that was your 10 questions for your geography round. What we'll do, we'll go on to the history round now, and then I'll repeat all those questions again for history, and then it will be sports, and then we'll go through the answers for the first 3 rounds. So question 1 for your history round is, what did the Romans call Scotland? So what did the Romans used to call Scotland? Question 2. Who was made Lord Mayor of London in 1397, 1398, 1406 and 1419? So, who was made Lord Mayor of London in 1397, 1398, 1406 and 1419? There's only one person out throughout all those years that you need to remember. Question 3. Who was Henry VIII's last wife? So, who was Henry VIII's last wife? Question 4. Who was the youngest British Prime Minister? So, who was the youngest British Prime Minister? Question 4. Question 5. In which year was Joan of Arc burned at the stake? So, in which year was Joan of Arc burned at the stake? Question 6. Which nationality was the polar explorer Roald Amundsen? So that's which nationality was the polar explorer Roald Amundsen, sorry. Bit of a tricky word for me to say there. Roald Amundsen. So it's R-O-A-L-D, then A-M-U-N-D-S-E-N. Roald Amundsen. Question 7. Who was the first female Prime Minister of Australia? So, who was the first female Prime Minister of Australia? Question 8. Which English explorer was executed in 1618, 15 years after being found guilty of conspiracy against King James I of England and James VII of Scotland? So, which England explorer was executed in 1618, 15 years after being found guilty of conspiracy against King James I of England and the 8th of Scotland? Question 9. I might have to spell this last word for you. Which English city was once known as Durlopito? So it's D-U-R-O-L-I-P-O-N-T-E. Which English city was once known as Lipiton? So it's D-U-R-O-L-I-P-O-N-T-E. In future, I'm going to do questions that I can actually pronounce. And question 10 for your history round. The first successful vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner in 1796. Which disease did it guard against? So the first successful vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner in 1796. But which disease did it guard against? So that is your history questions. I shall go and repeat those from one again quickly while you figure out your answer for the last one. So number 1 was, what did the Romans call Scotland? Number 2 was, who was Lord Mayor of London in 1397, 1398, 1406 and 1419. Question 3 was who was Henry VIII's last wife? Number 4 was who was the youngest British Prime Minister? Number 5, in which year was Joan of Arc burned at the stake? Number 6, which nationality was the polar explorer Roald Amundsen? Then I asked who was the female Prime Minister of Australia, the first one. Number 8 was which English explorer was executed in 1618, 15 years after being found guilty of conspiracy against King James I of England and 7th of Scotland. Number 9, which English city was once known as Duroliponte, Duroliponte. And number 10 was the first successful vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner in 1796, but which disease did it guard against? So that is your 10 questions for your history round. We will now go on to sports. Give you a second. And then once I've read the 10 questions of sports and repeated them, we'll go through the answers, have a quick break for about a minute or two, get your refill or drink or snacks, and then we'll do the final 2 rounds. So, sports round. Question 1. What are the 5 colours of the Olympic rings? You only get a point if you get all 5 colours correct. So, what are the 5 colours of the Olympic rings? Question 2. In football, which team has won the Champions League, formerly the European Cup, the most? So in football, which team has won the Champions League, formerly the European Cup, the most? Question 3. How many players are there in a rugby league team? So how many players are there in a rugby league team? Question 4. Which horse is the only 3-time winner of the Grand National? So which horse is the only 3-time winner of the Grand National? Question 5. Since 1977, where has snooker's World Championship taken place? So since 1977, where has snooker's World Championship taken place? Question 6. In tennis, what piece of fruit is found at the top of the men's Wimbledon trophy? So in tennis, what piece of fruit is found at the top of the men's Wimbledon trophy? Question 7. Who won the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2019? So who won the FIFA's Women's World Cup in 2019? Number 8. In bowling, what is the term given for 3 consecutive strikes? So in bowling, what is the term given for 3 consecutive strikes? Question 9. How many world titles has Phil Taylor won in darts? So how many titles has Phil Taylor won in darts? How many world titles has he won? And your final question for your sports round is, in golf, where does the Masters take place? So in golf, where does the Masters take place? And that is your 10 questions for round 3. I'll go through the questions again really quickly, and then we will go back up to geography and do the answers, and then have a quick break. So number 1 was, what are the 5 colours of the Olympic rings? Number 2 was, in football, which team has won the Champions League, formerly the European Cup, the most? Number 3 was, how many players are in a rugby league team? Number 4 was, which horse is the only 3-time winner of the Grand National? Number 5 was, since 1977, where has the Snooker's World Championship taken place? Number 6 is, in tennis, what piece of fruit is found at the top of the men's Wimbledon trophy? Number 7 is, who won the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2019? Number 8 is, in bowling, what is the term given for 3 consecutive strikes? Number 9 was, how many world titles has Phil Taylor won in darts? And the final question was, in golf, where does the Masters take place? So that is all your answers for the first 3 rounds. What we'll do, we'll go through all the answers quickly for the first 3, and then we will have a quick break, couple of minutes, come back, and then we will do the final 2. So, oh, excuse me. So, for geography, for your answers, if we are ready, I'm just going to read the answers out instead of questions again, because I've done the questions. So I'll go number 1, answer, and so forth. So number 1, I was after San Diego. Number 2, I was after Ben Nevis. Number 3, Vatican City. Number 4 was Canada. Number 5, I was after countries using the shilling was Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Somalia. They're still using the shilling as currency. Point if you got all 4. Number 6 was the letter E I was after. So E is the only vowel not used for the first letter in a US state. Number 7, the answer is Russia, which is the largest country in the world. You'll find the River Thames in London, UK, was number 8. The hottest continent on the earth was Africa. And the longest river in the world is the River Nile. That was your answers for your geography round. Give you a minute to tally up your scores. Then we'll move on to the answers for history. So for your history round, number 1, the Romans called Scotland Caledonia. What the Romans used to call Scotland. Number 2, the Lord Mayor of London, in the dates I gave you, was Richard Dick Whittington. Number 3, Henry VIII's last wife was Catherine Parr. You got a point just for Catherine, that's okay. The youngest Prime Minister was William Pitt, the younger. So William Pitt. Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in 1431. Number 5. Question 6 was Norwegian, was where the polar explorer nationality. He was Norwegian. Number 7, the first female Prime Minister of Australia was Julia Gillard. She was Prime Minister from 2010 to 2013. The first female Prime Minister of Australia. Right, the former explorer who was executed in 1618 was Sir Walter Raleigh. Number 9 was Cambridge I was after. So that was the English city, was once known as, I can't say that name, it was Cambridge. And number 10, the first successful vaccine introduced by Edward Jenner in 1796 was a guard against smallpox I was after. So that was your history answers. I'll give you a minute just to tally up your scores. And we'll move on to round 3, which was sports. We'll have a quick break. As I said, give you a chance to top up a drink or nuts or snacks if you want, if you're having any. And then we'll come back and do the last 2 rounds. So your answers for your sports round are: number 1, I asked the 5 colours of the Olympic rings, and they are blue, yellow, black, green, and red. Point if you got all of those. Unfortunately, no point if you didn't get it, if you missed one out or got it wrong. Question 2, the football team that has won the Champions League, or formerly European Cup, the most was Real Madrid. They won it 13 times. Question 3, I asked how many players are there in a rugby league team? The answer is 13. Question 4, was which horse is the only three-time winner of the Grand National, and that was Red Rum. Number 5, since 1977, where has the Snookers World Championship taken place? And that's Crucible Theatre. So Cible Theatre. Number 6, in tennis, what piece of fruit is found at the top of men's Wimbledon trophy? That is a pineapple. Number 7, who won the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2019? That was USA. Number 8 was in bowling, what is the term given to 3 consecutive strikes? And that is a turkey. Number 9 was how many world titles has Phil Taylor won in darts? He has won 16. And number 10 was in golf, where does the Masters take place? And that takes in Augusta National. So it's Augusta National. And that is your first 30 questions for this week. Have a quick break. I'm going to leave a bit of tunes going on. A couple of minutes, give you a chance to get your drink and some snacks or something if you wish. And then we shall come back and do the final 2 questions. Myself, I'm just going to look for something on the computer quickly, so I will still be here. But if you want to go and get your bits and pieces, you can. And then I will let you know when we are back. See you in a mo. Hello everyone, we're back. Sorry about that, just had to go and find something. So hope you're all getting on okay with the quiz for the first 3 rounds. Questions hopefully aren't too hard for you. If you can, as usual, let me know what your scores are after the quiz. I like to know, see how everyone's getting on. So yeah, so if everyone is ready, we will move on to round 4, which will be politics. Done a bit of technical difficulties here with the questions, so if you just bear with me, sorry. So let's see what we got. Let's go the old way. Right. Politics. Question 1, if we're all ready, is who was the only British Prime Minister to be assassinated? So, who was the only British Prime Minister to be assassinated? Question 2. How long does Prime Minister's questions last? So, how long does Prime Minister's questions last? I've never done a politics round before, so give it a try. Probably only do it once. Some people don't like politics, some do. So I just thought I'll throw in one this week just to see how it goes. Question 3. How many members of Parliament, MPs, are there? So how many members of Parliament or MPs are there? Question 5. America's Republican Party is commonly referred to as the GOP. What does the GOP stand for? Question 5. Who is Donald Trump's vice president? So, who is Donald Trump's vice president? Question 7. In which year did Britain originally join the EEC, now known as the European Union? So, in which year did Britain originally join the EEC, now known as the European Union? Question 8. How many of the 6 founding members of the European Union can you name? I'll give you a point for each one you can name. So, how many of the 6 founding members of the European Union can you name? Point for each name you get right. Question 9. What is the name given to the group of people who make sure MPs attend important votes? So, what is the name given to the group of people who make sure MPs attend important votes? And the final question is, on what subject was the first referendum in Britain? So, on what subject was the first referendum in Britain? I'm going to repeat all the questions quickly, as I have previously before. Question 1 was, who was the only British Prime Minister to be assassinated? Number 2 was, how long does Prime Minister's questions last? Number 3, how many members of Parliament or MPs are there? Number 4 is, what is the middle name of Angela Merkel? Number 5 was, America's Republican Party is commonly referred to as the GOP. What does the GOP stand for? Number 6 was, who is Donald Trump's vice president? Number 7, in which year did Britain originally join the EEC, now known as the European Union? Number 8 was, how many of the 6 founding members of the European Union can you name? Point for each one. Number 9 was, what is the name given to the group of people who make sure MPs attend important votes? And number 10 was, on what subject was the first referendum in Britain? So that was your 10 questions for politics round. I'll give you a couple of seconds and then we shall move on to the last round, which would be food and drink. And then we will go through the answers afterwards. So if everyone's ready, we shall move on to the final round of food and drink. So question 1 is, which nuts are used in marzipan? So which nuts are used in marzipan? Question 2. What is the most famous Mexican beer? So what is the most famous Mexican beer? Question 3. Which country is the origin of the cocktail mojito? So which country is the origin of the cocktail mojito? Question 4. What is Japanese sake made from? So what is Japanese sake made from? Question 5. Which vitamin is the only one that you will not find in an egg? So which vitamin is the only one that you will not find in an egg? Number 6. What is the chemical formula for table salt? So what is the chemical formula for table salt? Question 7. Tripe, which is popular in the north of England, is what? So tripe is popular in the north of England is what? Question 8. Which meat is used in Glamorgan sausages? So which meat is used in Glamorgan sausages? Question 9 is what ingredient is included in food in a Florentine style? So what ingredient is included in food in a Florentine style? Your final question for this week's quiz is which fish is the main ingredient of Scotch woodcock? So which fish is the main ingredient of Scotch woodcock? So while everyone is going to write their answers down, I'll repeat the questions again for the final round really quickly if you missed any. So number 1, which nuts are used in marzipan? Number 2 was what is the most famous Mexican beer? Number 3, which country is the origin of the cocktail mojito? Number 4 was what is a Japanese steak made from? Number 5 was which vitamin is the only one that you will not find in an egg? Number 6 is what is the chemical formula for table salt? Number 7 is tripe, which is popular in the north of England, is what? Number 8 is which meat is used in Glamorgan sausages? Number 9 was what ingredient is included in food in a Florentine style? And the final question was which fish is the main ingredient of Scotch woodcock? So that was your questions for this week's Lee's Pub Quiz. What we'll do, we're going to go through all the answers for the final 2 rounds now. As usual, I'll just read the answers a bit quicker, and then we will go from there. I'll give you a second, and then we'll go through the answers for your politics round. So, if you are all ready, we will go through the answers. So, politics question 1. Answer was Spencer Perceval, and he was assassinated in May 1812. So that's Spencer Perceval. Number 2 is 30 minutes. I was after is the length of Prime Minister's questions. Number 3, there are 360 members of Parliament. Number 4, I was looking for Dorothea, or Dorotha, Dorothea. Number 5, I was asking what does GOP stand for, and that stands for Grand Old Party. That's Grand Old Party. Question 6. Donald Trump's vice president is Mike Pence. It's Donald Trump's vice president. Number 7. The year I was after was 1973. Number 8. I asked how many of the 6 founding members of the European Union can you name? You got a point for each one you got right. The answers were Belgium, France, West Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. So a point for each one you got right out of the 6. Question 9, I asked what is the name given to a group of people who make the MPs attend important votes, and that is whips. Whips. And number 10 was on what subject was the first referendum in Britain, and that was joining the EEC. So that is your answers for your politics round. As I say, it's first time I've done the politics round, so I don't know whether I'll do that again, but at least it's a different new round for me, so I've learned a bit more information on politics, which is good. So what we'll do now, I'll give you a second to tally up the scores on that one. We will move on to the answers for food and drink. Right, if everyone is ready. Number 1, I asked which nuts are used in marzipan, and the answer is almonds. Number 2 was the most famous Mexican beer, unfortunately, is Corona. Not to confuse with the virus that's going around at the moment. Number 3 was which country the origin of the cocktail mojito, and that is Cuba. Number 4, I wanted to know what is Japanese sake made from, and that is rice. Number 5 was which vitamin is the only one that you will not find in an egg, and that is a vitamin C. You'll never get a vitamin C in an egg. Never knew that myself. Number 6, I asked what is the chemical formula for table salt, and well done if you got this right. Is NaC1 is the chemical for table salt. So that's NaC1. Congratulations if you got that right. Number 7, I asked tripe, which is popular in the north of England, is what? And that is the stomach, usually of a cow. So tripe is the stomach, which is usually a cow. Number 8, I asked which meat is used in Glamorgan sausages, and that is none. They are made from cheese. So there's a bit of a trick question, that one. There's no meat in a Glamorgan sausages. It's made from cheese. Question 9, I asked what ingredient is included in food in a Florentine style, and that is spinach. What I was after was spinach. And number 10, I asked which fish is the main ingredient of a Scotch woodcock, and the answer I was looking for was anchovies. So that was your main quiz questions for this week. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to throw in a tiebreaker question. So if you're playing against people, or you just want to see if you can get an extra bonus point, then fair be it. But I will throw in a bonus question. I've got a few here in front of me. So I will ask this question, tiebreaker question. How does paella get its name? So how does paella get its name? We have less time here. So do a countdown. So is it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the answer is it's from the pan that it's cooked in. So that's how paella got its name, is by what pan it's cooked in. So I've done a little bit different this week. Apologise for anyone that's had any technical difficulties this week. Not sure whether it's my end but I've not really been freezing on while I've been doing it. But I know I had a bit of issue with my internet earlier on this morning. But yeah, so I apologise if you've had any technical difficulties this week. I hope you've all enjoyed the quiz. Again, myself, I've enjoyed doing it. I enjoy finding questions for you, learning a bit of information myself, which is good. I hope I'm delivering it okay for you guys. Hope you're all learning as well. Again, I hope you enjoying the lovely weather. I know it's going to be hot this week, so enjoy it safely. If you're back at work, then stay safe. Shout out to all the people that were working through the COVID that we've had. I know it's easing off a little bit now, so fingers crossed we don't have a second peak. Hopefully I'll be back at work myself. Still be doing the quizzes. As I say, I don't think I'm going to go back to doing a Wednesday quiz because I'm a bit busy myself over the next couple of weeks. But I will still be doing the Monday's quiz. So I apologise for that if anyone liked doing the quiz on a Wednesday. I just don't think I've got the time at the moment to do a pre-recorded one. So again, I apologise for that. But yes, I will definitely be back next Monday with some more quiz questions, hopefully. I will keep you updated through my social media, and I will be sharing it with friends and family as well. So if you can, share the quiz through social media on Facebook if you're on there. Tell your friends. Hopefully they'll like to join in. So yeah. So from myself, Leah Kilios Irvine, stay safe, and I will see you all next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.